Hello, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Matthew Hazen. He's the founder of Human Consciousness Support, a company that produces a unique nutraceutical product called MasterPeace. I love the name. I have to say it again. It caught my attention immediately. Words, there's something about words, right? They carry some resonance, energetic resonance.
Very true.
So, talk to me about the inspiration of who you became today, the person that you are today. How did this happen? And what is the story behind the backstory behind Masterpiece?
I've always been a very open-minded and health-oriented person. When I was very young, I may have been the guy on the weight pile, but I also was doing yoga when no one else was.
Yeah.
And so I've always been open-minded to things out there. And so I was pretty familiar up until about 4 years ago with all types of quantum healing devices and scalar devices, Sophia, Rife. There's so many of them, Itera, on and on. And I've seen some people were breatharians, and there's all different types of walks of life. Right. And I have kids that are almost 30 years old all the way down. I have a herd of boys, and then I have just had my first little girl. But about 3 years ago, when I had another son on the way, 4 years ago, I apologize. One day, I literally looked around, and I seen all these health-oriented people, podcasters everywhere. And there was no rhyme or reason where I could find why one particular group or another was that healthy. Most people's health, no matter what level of devotion they had to their diet practice, they were declining. I seen our whole population declining, and I had this thought that I felt scared that my kids are like, this world's in bad shape and there's no answer out there available. And so I literally just thought, well, there's got to be a solution that's not here yet. And then I just started brainstorming and started learning a lot about science and about why all these cleanses and detox things and liver health and all this stuff works to some degree, but some people work all the time and they can have the perfect health no matter what they did. And so I delve in deep and started finding out about things like zeolite and other binders and chelators out there. And that was the journey. That was when MasterPeace kind of became a thought. Yeah. And, about a year and a half ago, we got busy with labs and different things to really put our nature-minded thoughts and ideas into a solution that was built for today's problems. Yeah, and that's kind of where it came about.
Yeah, I love that. So it's in a way, it's finding solutions for our own problems that we can find solution for others, right, Matthew?
Yeah.
It's interesting how it works. By setting ourselves up to help ourselves, we ended up helping a lot of people. How do you define health? What is to be healthy, a healthy person?
I start off with your emotional well-being. Yeah. Like, who are you moment to moment through the day? When you're just going through your normal life, do you see everything with gratitude, or do you become the victim everywhere you go? And I think that, how you feel is what your day's going to be a lot of times, right?
For sure.
And you got mental stuff too. You want, but a lot of your mental stuff is actually physical conditions, true things like schizophrenia, autism, those kind of things. And then physical too. So I'm a real holistic minded person. Yeah. And that's really what this, what we've done for mankind, what we've created is a whole holistic type of approach. Yeah.
Gosh, I can't wait. Yeah. I have lots of questions here for you about MasterPeace and the compounds, what is it made for, and etc. But before that, there's another question. So your company is titled Human Consciousness Support. So the word consciousness, and you have mentioned that before, that is actually the premise of MasterPeace, to raise consciousness. So I have to ask you this question. What is consciousness? What is your perspective? Yeah. What is your understanding of that?
Consciousness is life, fauna, flora, everything. It's the oneness. We are all, you can think your fingers and toes, but really you're your consciousness. And to say that just has a real quick lifespan here on Earth and it's over would probably not be thinking it through too much. So now we can talk about the science of consciousness. It was made quite famous by like Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, those type of gentlemen, talking about where you can see electromagnetic frequency waves and all kinds of stuff with like fancy devices called gas visualization discharge tests and things. I don't know if, but like kinesiology, what they call muscle testing.
Yeah.
And consciousness, if you look at vibrational frequency, the feelings that you naturally attach to, that is all consciousness. And so we currently are on a planet where our consciousness is not very high. And it appears like it might even be lower than it was 100 or 200 years ago. So technology goes up, but our consciousness seems to go down.
Right.
And MasterPeace was specifically designed to go after the root cause of what is keeping our consciousness low, which is what none of these other detoxes and cleanses up till now, unfortunately, couldn't take care of. You know, used to, we'd have a great juice fast or something like that, and we were back to 100%, but it just doesn't work for us anymore. And no matter how much we try or will it. And so what we need to know in our world, when the industrial processes started a long time ago, the pollution was, you couldn't see it, but it would get in your body and it was bad for us. And so, but it was manageable. You could take chlorella and spirulina and so forth. Well, something bad happened about the end, right before 2000. All of our technology for all of our industrial processes, our insecticides, our world that we live in started getting, the technology behind it got better, but what they were doing was making everything smaller and more biodegradable. Right. And so they started to, everything has been switched over to this nano form instead of a micrometer, which is about a lot smaller than what you could see with your eye. Everything is thousands of times smaller and it's nano. So you hear nano this and nano that, but people aren't familiar with it.
Yeah.
Well, when things such as aluminum and all the other stuff, heavy metals, anything that you would relate to as a forever chemical, there's thousands of them. They're on everything. They're in everything. If they get into your body at the smallest levels, your body cannot digest them. They can't metabolize them. That's why they're called stuck, trapped, forever chemicals. And so when they're less than 50 nanometers or 100 nanometers, they get, instead of just inside of your body, they get inside of your cell.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And your cells, due to the positive charge and different things, now you got a heavy metal in there and it's stuck forever. And so what that does is disrupt everything to do with your health that you can imagine. You're a bioorganism. You're supposed to be as natural as it gets, made from the earth, fallen from the sky, you know, come from the ocean. We're connected. And instead, now we have all this manufactured industrial processes, super small nano-sized toxins that are stuck in us. And that's the deepest root of why we can't get ourselves back to thriving. And so what we've done with MasterPeace is look to Mother Nature with the mindset of, we are actually all 99% water molecules. So you're water. So we said, where's the cleanest water on earth that has minerals? And we looked in the ocean, and where is it the healthiest? Where is it the cleanest from heavy metals? Is right where zeolite is. Zeolite is a natural mineral. It is lava that goes into the ocean, that Mother Nature has this great chemical process that happens. It's like Mother Nature gets a fever and she's done. So she shoots off a volcano, breaks her fever, gets it into the ocean, and the stuff that's left is the best binder to any toxins, anything that's bad out there. So we took that and then we gave it the healthiest support, which is marine plasma. Most people are not familiar with marine plasma. So we're on a whole different level of health talk, what we're talking about right here. So you can see a pretty seed that's in the world, and you can plant that seed, and one day it becomes a mighty tree. The same information that tells that seed to become a huge, mighty tree is RNA. And so what marine plasma has in it, just like you hear about DNA a lot, That's RNA. It's the blueprint. It's the thing that codes you to survive the ages, to thrive forever. It's that hologram imprint of what you need to do, that perfect consciousness voice in you, that your body knows what to do every step of the way. Marine plasma is chocked full of unmodified RNA. All the minerals that are in your body's also in it, in its perfect balance. All the essential fatty acids. And then we structure it. So it's structured. So when you put that with the zeolite, and we make the zeolite down to 100 nanometers and smaller, and a very small size, so the zeolite goes into your cell and it sticks to the toxins. Any toxin you can basically name has a positive charge. Zeolite is a negative charge. So it goes in the cell and it bonds to it. And then as it ushers it out, because the zeolite is not digestible,
right,
it replaces it with the marine plasma. And it's a great upgrade. It's a purifier. And it's doing it on the intercellular, or the fancy word is intracellular level. And what it's doing for people, basically across the board at this point, we've only been around for about 2.5 months. But the first thing when it does at this level is you start dreaming again, more and more. If you dream all the time now already, which is great, you'll have a lot more colorful dreams.
Yes.
Or you'll be flying in your dreams more, having happier dreams. Or you'll be lucid. You'll know you're dreaming all night and you're controlling your dream, and your connectedness to everybody.
Yes.
The same thing that these nanometer-sized heavy metals are doing to keep our vibration, our consciousness low. When you get that root cause out of there, now you get a chance to see what your body's really all about. So MasterPeace doesn't heal you. It just gets the junk out and replenishes it with the good, so your body can actually heal itself because it's perfect at it.
That's true. Yeah. It's the real doctor, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a healing machine. So you talked about consciousness. That makes a lot of sense to me. From what I have understood, everything is consciousness, everything. But there's pure consciousness and then impure, in a sense of getting mixed up with experience and then believing that it is the body, with everything that carries. So purifying the body, that makes a lot of sense. That would open up that window for possibilities to see life differently. It makes so much sense to me, everything that you just said, although I don't understand exactly how it works. So I guess another question for you is how, because of course I had some instructions from you. I have a bottle that you sent to me. Thank you, you and your team. And I asked some questions how to take it. So how do we use it? What's the best way to use it?
Absolutely. So 99% of the formula, with it being marine plasma, this is why you want to take MasterPeace in your mouth with about 5 drops. I have a bottle right here.
Yes.
So anybody that would take it will swish it around, mix it with your enzymes. Yes. Everything that is in MasterPeace is too small to ever think you're going to get it to the stomach and digest it through. It goes through the blood. It goes through your nervous system. It's going straight to the deepest recesses of your body. And the marine plasma is known as the most bioavailable substance on earth. But as science understands it, your body picks up on it and starts knowing what to do at the speed of light from when it goes inside of your mouth. At the speed of your light, you're not just your stomach, not just your mind, everything. We're a system. I don't think we really understand how magical we are. I don't think we understand just how connected in all ways we actually are, right? So there's animals in the ocean that can communicate with each other from across the world. And they say, oh, and they're animals, right? And they say, oh, how does that happen? Oh, it's because they can send it through the water. Well, guess what? Your air that you're breathing in, there's machines that can take the water that is in the air and all that. So we're connected above land too. So and that marine plasma, when you take it like that, it's a serious upgrade, but you just want to take it in your mouth. That's the best way. Just a few drops and leave it there for 30 or more seconds twice a day.
Twice a day. Yeah, that's good to know. I guess another question that comes to mind is what to look for. I know you mentioned dreams, having clear dreams, but what else to look for as a sign that the body is becoming more, I would say it's coming into harmony, isn't it, Matthew?
Yeah.
That's what is happening.
Yeah. So when you get the junk out and your body can naturally start lifting up in consciousness and feel better, what you're going to notice besides your dream state, which is everything to do with your pineal gland. So your sleep and your dreams get incredible. But during the day, what you're going to notice is a natural connectedness that you don't always, that most people, I didn't feel for 25 years. I don't even know if I felt any emotion for 25 years, seriously. I mean, men can be like that, right? So the way you feel, the way you tolerate, the way your environment tolerates you, the way you tolerate, when you feel better when you walk into the gas station, when you're dealing with your kids or someone in your family or your coworkers, your life, you feel better. When you feel better, your vibration, your consciousness is higher. You are attached to your environment. You are now lifting your environment up and all that's in it, instead of being, the person who doesn't, the person who has attitude with strangers for no reason or something like that. Yeah. So when you feel better, you are better. Your life is better and it's measurable. And yeah, that's what you're going to notice it. It's subtle. Now we get a lot of people, we get like a third of the people, they first start taking it and their first day, they are going crazy with what they're feeling. They might be more sensitive than me. Yes. Now, I'd say 85% of the people by the end of the first week, they know their dreams are coming a lot more and they're feeling a lot incredible. Yeah. But, just imagine depoisoning yourself from the nano layer, the stuck intracellular thing, which none of this natural stuff without getting it down to a nano size gets into your cell. Right. Your body has to process it, and it doesn't like to exchange stuff like that because it's in a fight or flight response anyways. So, yeah. I will also say this. We're 99% water. We are surrounded in electromagnetic fields. If you look at Dr. Emoto's science and a lot of other people with water, you can see electromagnetic frequency waves change and manipulate water at will. You change the frequency and it messes. Well, you're 99% water. Do you think it's not happening to you? Because it is, unfortunately. And so we're moving, when you get those metals out of you, you are a lot less manipulatable. So these harmful waves that are harmful on your state of being, emotional, physical, and everything, they're not as effective. Right. And also what becomes more effective, I had this, just real quick, Valeria, I think you'll like this. Yeah. I had a lot of guys that they own these really cool quantum healing devices. Even a med bed guy up in Canada who's so a lot of stuff that should be very effective. Now, I told him this. I said, if I could get you guys all in the one room and you guys are experts of this is the one thing that I could get you guys to agree on. You ready for this? You guys could agree, as long as you knew your stuff, that what is keeping your devices from working as effectively on your customers or patients is the fact that no matter what your device is, it's incapable of getting out a magnetically stuck heavy metal inside of your cell. So MasterPeace allows everything, all your practices, to become more effective. Your workouts you do better. Everything you notice, it's bumping it up, it's supporting it. And yeah, that's kind of what people can expect to feel and go through.
Yes. I felt something. I think I mentioned off record when I took the first day. I think that had to do with dreams. I pay attention to dreams and visions, and then also inspiration throughout the day. So I remember feeling something different. It's subtle, different, positive. And that's how I knew too. That was one time, just from one time. So it's very interesting how it works at that level. As you said, it's deep. It goes into the cells and does what it needs to do. So another question that I have to ask you, do you connect consciousness, the way you understand it, to spirituality?
Oh yeah, of course.
In what way? How would you in a relatable way kind of explain that relationship?
If your consciousness is the lower your consciousness is on the David Hawkins map of consciousness, chart of consciousness, if you want to look up the science of it, it's very accurate. irrefutable. So it's facts. People may be ignorant to it, but if they learn it, it's amazing. When your consciousness is low, your mood is low. Everything is worse. As your consciousness goes up, everything improves. It's kind of like your vibrational frequency. It doesn't mean it can't take a dip. It doesn't mean you can't have a bad moment. But instead of having a bunch of low moments and every now and then you have a good moment, a good laugh, you live in love and willingness and joy and compassion for the next one, because we all have a tough life here. We're all trying to figure out how best to be our best versions. Humans are amazing like that. Our nature is incredible. Not when we're controlled by forever chemicals from the poisons that are in us, unfortunately, that we can't get away from all the way. In MasterPeace, there's so many things to get out the micro level, the micron, the micronized level. There's so many things that are there. But to have an effective poison remover binder on the intracellular level with marine plasma, which is the most bioavailable substance on Earth, we needed this.
Yes, we need all the help that we can get, for sure. Another question, I guess, is the cause for this chaos, in a sense of toxins everywhere. And I heard that the soil is deficient of nutrients as well. It's lacking nutrients. And I think you mentioned something else. And then the low vibration, this consciousness, this ability to love, to relate, to connect with others in a compassionate way, and to be at peace. So what do you attribute all that to? How did we arrive to this point?
I believe that when the industrial processes that are all about explosion, when you have explosion, okay, so implosion is good for us, restructuring, that type of energy. When the Industrial Revolution started, that's when our bodies started taking in things that are very unnatural. Before that, we didn't have that. When those things are in the body, it causes your consciousness to not be able to, you can't be your badass self. And when you do that, you don't have time for spirituality. The only way to find happiness in the life is not to get a better Ferrari every year. It's not to find a better pill to take so true consciousness, true joy, and evolving on a human level, what we're meant to be doing is focusing and growing our spirituality, which is consciousness. Right. We can't do that right now when you're just trying to get out of bed and function. When you're in pain, when we've been traumatized and we don't know how to deal with our trauma, when physically we're unhealthy and lethargic and full of apathy, how can we even begin to grow spiritually or consciously? Yes,
absolutely. So healing, spirituality, I usually connect those two as well. To me, everything is connected, but I do make that connection. So the Industrial Revolution you just mentioned, why did this happen? Is because of the population grew? What was just man being creative, technology?
I think man using might for greed, man wanting to control stuff, have a bunch of money, be colonialists. Why do some men so thirsty for power? I think that kind of money, I think, they did that. And that's really what led to this second industrial revolution that happened at the turn of the century that they didn't, teach people about. And what happened is people trying to get ahead of the technology, right? Silicon Valley, all this stuff, tried to make everything nano instead of micrometer size. It wasn't good enough for it to be just invisible, and so all these processes now, that it goes into our environment and it keeps circulating. Yes. So these things are forever chemicals. The environment nor your body can metabolize them. It's not biodegradable. So it ends up in you. And I think that's this whole process right there, described like that, is very accurate on what's happened to us.
Would you say that this is coming from that low consciousness idea concept?
Yes, people with low consciousness getting to make too many decisions, getting the chance to, guy with a little man complex getting to be a cop, So I'm sorry, yes. Probably, that's a bad analogy. I apologize. I shouldn't. But things like that,
So that's the idea of the ego, the false self, which is the identification with the body mind. So we look at ourselves and we feel separate from everything else, and then poor me, and then it starts to try to protect, itself and do what it takes to rise. That's a sad, let's say, story. Sounds like a sad story, but it's actually what happened, what has happening. It has been my experience since I was very little too, kind of losing that feeling of freedom. It's almost like I don't remember thinking about having a body. It was just like kind of going around and doing what I had to do, playful, enjoy. For all of the sudden that understanding, I mean, it was just incredible. Which I don't remember how it happened, but just the realization that I was in the body. That was interesting because for me it was looking at myself in the mirror and saying, "Oh, you back here in a new body." So that never left me. That kind of informed my entire life. Like, how did I know that I was back here? So that kind of also kind of brings us to that topic of infinite intelligence. Consciousness is infinite, so it's always here. It can never go away. So why fear something that is always present? Um, right? It's interesting. I mean, this is a different topic, I guess.
No, but you're absolutely right. And when children, they don't have to, they don't have to work hard at being in a good mood. They don't have to wake
Yeah.
up
Yes.
and tell themselves, I got to have a good day. I better make a better cup of coffee or something, and but as the years go on and they start accumulating these nanotoxins and stuff, then it becomes harder and harder.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. A lot of people start taking this product a very big percentage, and they feel closer to I've heard it countless times, childlike. And that's when we're really at our best. And children, I don't even think they understand until they're like a year that they're not fully connected to everything, right?
Right.
So yeah. So they have to experience and go through different traumas before they can be disillusioned enough to forget how amazing and connected we all are to everything.
Right.
How accountable we are and responsible we are to each other. If people just knew your bad mood affected other people in a real way, human nature is so great. They probably, if they knew that fact for certain, if they understood that science, they would be better just by knowing that fact. That's how amazing humans are. And so, yeah.
For sure.
And this is, yes. And so this is kind of we're actually looking for the first time at something that's a real life solution at getting people to kind of come up out of their rut and kind of get back so that they can be motivated again, have better natural energy levels again.
Right.
And, where their bodies can respond to the other great things they're doing for themselves correctly again.
Yes. And with that in mind, before I forget, can we give this to children? Would that be okay?
Absolutely. My kids, kids are very energy sensitive.
Yes.
They take everything to their mouth, right? And it's so cool. And that's because their body, before things happen in life, if it's healthy for them, no matter what it tastes like, they love it. But as they get older and they get tricked, then it's like it has to taste like sugar, which is actually poison, right? So then all of a sudden they crave and they'll fight over poison. So my kids will fight over MasterPeace. As the formulation was improving, my kids take it all the time. You can't give too much of it. It's the healthiest, as science understands it. I could win an argument on it's the healthiest thing you've ever put into your body.
And that is the same thing, Matthew, twice a day for children as well?
Yes. Now we put as much nanometer sized zeolite as we can in there because there's so much marine plasma. Things like detox symptoms or Herxheimer responses are very rare. I don't think I've even heard. Very rare. The worst I've heard like 2 people out of all the people in this whole process that said like the first day after the day they had like a small headache that they were attributing to that. But it's very safe for pets, kids. Anybody that has a neurological issues such as schizophrenia, autism, uh, Parkinson's, dementia, brain fog. Your presentness to be in the moment, in the now moment, goes sharply up. If someone's on the spectrum, they will improve. I'm not saying it's reversing things. I can't make those type of claims or anything like that. I have testimonies of people who claim that their child who is nonverbal and autistic at 10 years old and was not even potty trained at 10 years old, after the now they claim that after the first week they were potty trained and were speaking 3 words. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. Again, I'm not making any claims, but it seems to be that when our body gets the junk out and replaces it with the best, we're seeing some pretty amazing things from children, from pets. You know, if they're less, give them a few less drops, you know, but have no fear. It's the healthiest stuff in there. And if this stuff's bad for people, then we're in a lot of trouble.
Yes. And it has been, what's the history of MasterPeace? It has been used for many, many years, Matthew.
Zeolite has been happening on Earth ever since there was volcanoes on Earth. I don't know how far back that goes. It's Mother Nature's way of cleaning everything. So like your mycotoxins, microbials, PFAs, BPAs, there's so much stuff out there that's bad. Heavy metals, of course, all that stuff. Zeolite is a binder and a chelator. So it does both functions in removing those toxins.
Right.
Yeah. And it works better because the body with the marine plasma at the same time, our bodies are always trying to get back to homeostasis.
Yeah.
And so when you give it marine, and it likes to trade up, like your body can make any vitamin or any mineral it needs to, right? It can become what it needs to become. It's always trying to do that. And so if you give it marine plasma to choose from, at the same time that the zeolite is right there, your body's like, I don't want this heavy metal. Take that, take that, take that. I'm looking for that, because it's like having, it's like, I don't want to say any analogies, they wouldn't be appropriate, but it's basically, you're going to always, your body's going to always take the most nutrient dense substance on Earth, especially when you're giving it a magnet that's attracting to the heavy metals that we're trying to pull out at the same time.
Yeah. So it's highly intelligent. Yep.
Our bodies, as our science, which is very limited, understands it. Our bodies are the most state-of-the-art technical devices that we're aware of in the universe. And that is the truth. Yes.
And we don't have the manual for it. We're not born with the manual. I remember somebody saying that. It's so true. We need to learn, right, little by little how it works, and how fantastic. I was curious about scalar energy because I have been working with somebody here. I interviewed him twice and we have been talking, and he specializes in that scalar light, healing people through that. That's actually part of the compounds. It's in it, MasterPeace.
That's part of one of the energetics that we put into MasterPeace. Yes, most supplements are made in these manufacturing places. It's not very woo-woo when you get down to the reality of it, no matter what their marketing may appear to be like.
Right.
So we have a process that's irreplicatable. I can't get it duplicated at a fulfillment center because of all the energetics in it. So we have consciousness fields. Yeah. We have a non-local scalar device, which is all scalars non-local, by the way, sorry. But and it codes the labels with high consciousness fields. We have an magnetic component, an electromagnetic component. We have a water vortex magnetizer to structure it. It comes structured, but we make sure the marine plasma is structured. We use a biophoton infuser, which is an analemma wand, to also stir it. We even do little things that are proven scientifically at this point, like putting notes on the vats that say, I am love. That actually works. It imprints it. That's why we have the crystallography that proves our potion means, as science, crystallography is a science, a very good science. And it shows us with a heart and then ascension ladders, which is a very powerful message. Yeah. For the water to be telling you what it is like that.
Yes.
Yeah. The water tells us, MasterPeace tells you it's love and it's ascension, which means raising consciousness, which is really neat.
Yes. I know for a lot of people, it might sound technical or abstract in a lot of the terms, even for myself, like, oh, I don't know what that is. But It's worth trying, isn't it? I love the idea of being curious. Like, you know what? I could feel better. I could live a better life. I could be happier. So why not try something that has no side effects anyway? Do you feel like this is a calling for you? This is a purpose. This is you're being guided to do this. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I got into some kind of habit unknowingly
Mm,
about 2 years ago where every night I wake up from 2 to 4, hold
mhm.
meditation, try to hold a vision.
Yeah.
I feel like whether people voiced it out real direct or not, that mankind needed something, humanity needed something. We can measure the level of consciousness of an individual or a country or a team
Mm,
or the global collective.
mm, mm.
That is all measured. We keep that. A non-local scalar device company measures all that and keeps track of a lot of that stuff called FLFE. But anyways, the and it wasn't working. Our consciousness was going down. And so the main reason why that is these stuck heavy metals in you. You're responding to your environment, and your body doesn't do good when it's half metals, when you're supposed to be
Right.
amazing and an organism. Yeah.
I love your energy. Speaking of energetic resonance, there's something childlike about you. There's something innocent about you. That's really beautiful. That's kind of a reflection of what you're doing and the masterpiece what you're taking, because it feels like
Yeah.
it's fun. It's meaningful and it's fun.
Yeah. I'm absolutely the most fulfilled man on earth. I I have a family that adores me and only wants my time. And
Ah,
you know, I all my extra energy outside of them is truly in the most impactful way I could ever imagine helping mankind. I wake up every day to people's that I'll not get to meet in the world,
yeah.
but are sharing experiences. With us being new, most people that are finding us are very much on their health journey, right? They're deep. It's already the woo woo people or whatever we call it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But these people, they usually start off by saying, "I've tried everything,
Yeah.
and this is doing it." And so, I live that life where I get to hear all that. So, I mean, I couldn't. How could I be fuller? I don't know. I literally, and I've always had a pretty positive person, but I do. I live. I live. I would say above love. A lot of times, I feel joy
Yeah.
most of my days, and I wake up crying in the middle of the night. I don't care. I mean, I'm as man as, but you know, it's we. I think we are all like this naturally. I think we all start off like that, right? As kids, we all have this. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, absolutely. It's a return to it, right, Matthew?
yeah,
Basically, it's
yeah.
not really,
Absolutely.
yeah, returning to pure consciousness. Do you remember any time in history of humanity where we were at peace and we were thriving within this pure consciousness, kind of living from it?
Yeah, so history's kind of a hard subject with me because I'll tell you, it's whoever's his story, whoever was controlling the world
Right.
at the time, and so it's really hard for us to know. Now, if we were, they go back a long ways on the on the level of consciousness, and the readings
Yeah.
that they have, which is irrefutable. Even going back 2,000 years ago, the days that Jesus or whatever his name was for everybody, Emmanuel. I know it's a
Mhm.
big discussion there, but um, when that gentleman walked the earth, uh, our consciousness was even lower than it is now. It started to go up really good up until really we were at about 350 at about 2020, and then when COVID hit, it's like everything enacted where we dropped right off again. And
Ah,
so yeah, you'll see different things that look really suspicious
yeah.
that have to do with events that do happen around Earth. When you see the country's consciousnesses and how it plays
Yes.
into it, but we do know from our testing that the first 90 days of using MasterPeace, the average person's level of consciousness on the David Hawkins chart, if you want to look into it, the average person's consciousness raises 20 points. And what that means is In the first 90 days of consistently taking MasterPeace, we have scientific, verifiable proof that your consciousness goes up about the same as it would take you normally 4 or 5 lifetimes. So
Wow.
we evolve, right? We have to learn lessons. Hopefully you learn them. Some lessons you don't, and then you start all over, maybe. Let's say that. And so what usually takes people, because they have this very well documented, it takes about 4 or 5 lifetimes to get up about 20 points. And so your first 90 days of taking MasterPeace gets you up there in your consciousness. Yeah.
Wow.
That's powerful.
It is. Yeah. That's very, not even just encouraging, but that's a beautiful vision for us humans.
That's an
And
awesome truth.
yes, I guess the other questions about pricing, which we're probably not going to disclose it here, but would you say that it is accessible to everyone, or only some of us will be able to access it?
That's a very good question. So when we're making something that we want it to be a solution for mankind,
Yeah.
the most important thing about that is it has to be affordable for everybody.
Yes.
So the other products that are trying to do the same type of intracellular detox, nano zeolites, we are the lowest cost option. So they are all about $20 or higher compared to us.
Yeah.
We purposely made, and our dosing is much smaller. It's only 5 drops instead of 10 or 4 sprays. So it's a lot less drops. So our bottles last about 2 months. Everyone else's last right at 30 days for what you get for, I mean, the pricing is okay. We can say it because everybody pays the same price in the world. It's a very fair system.
Yeah.
So everybody pays $53, no tax, but you pay shipping.
Right.
And you pay shipping for whether you get 1 bottle or 10 because it costs us the same. So we only charge for 1 shipping. And, it is, it's about $1 a day. For $1 a day to help yourself in a way that you haven't gotten help before. Yeah. Because it's for mankind.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's what we want, not just help ourselves, but help others. And this
That's
is,
right.
it's all, it's made in the United States, right? It's
Yes.
manufactured and it's here. Okay,
Yep.
that's also wonderful to know. And guess I ran out of questions, but I do have the ending questions for you. But before that, Matthew, is there anything that you left unsaid? Anything that you'd like to disclose here?
I feel that from the very first day that the whole process of making MasterPeace, with the chief scientific officer that was responsible at the #1 nanotechnology lab in America, he was responsible at just figuring out how to get the zeolite down to a nano size, which just means making it smaller. Okay.
Right.
It's not any man playing God lab techniques. I know nano can be a scary word for people,
Right.
but this guy, he had his whole life, his career. And this is a man that's been married his whole life, had his kids, and then adopted kids in China and Africa. This is a good man.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had his entire career, which he thought was going to be for insecticides and making them more biodegradable.
Yeah.
Well, instead, that technology was used in the COVID jabs. And so he was under a lot of shame. He was having a hard time with life out of the blue. And he was not, I became his dear friend. He mentored me. And he got behind the mission of trying to make a solution for what these COVID shots, but a lot of other stuff. I mean, it's vaccinations. There's a whole ton of stuff that makes nanometer size toxins. It's not,
Right.
but this is a way that he could make things right. And he got behind it. But everybody that's with us, everyone that's found us so far, we have the most amazing team. This is a total group effort. We have the most incredible team with the most incredible intentions. If you could find all the people that had the purest intentions for humanity, they're flocking and migrating to us. And this is helping people to improve things in their life that they haven't been able to improve using every other tactic that they knew. All these quantum thing, all this, if you got these expensive devices or whatever you're doing in your life, it's going to work a little better and you're going to feel better with this. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. What a beautiful mission to have in this reality, right? In this lifetime. It's truly, truly beautiful. I guess my last question to you before I mention the website too, where to find it, is what is your, let's say, what is peace to you when it comes to the inner self and then the outside world? What is the symbolism of peace? What would that look like if it was realized within ourselves and in our outside world?
So for inside ourselves, for me, peace, love, peace,
Yeah.
combine, and then you find harmony. And through love, peace, and harmony, you find freedom.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to our us as a people and consciousness, and we're all a collective.
Yes.
For us, peace is the one indicator that will tell us if we're improving and doing our jobs with evolving spiritually, or if we're not. So when you are feeling very disconnected from the world, and there's a lot of narcissistic energies at play in the world by the powers that be and whatnot, then you have a world that is against itself. And that's not us. That's not what we're supposed to be. It's very unnatural. And so the one thing that is really the biggest sore in that, the biggest keystone that's holding all this lower consciousness and all of our problems together, the one keystone that's doing it is these stuck, and I don't know if it was made to be this way, but these stuck, trapped, forever chemicals in our bodies disrupt everything. It leaves you not being you. And the real you in all of us is uncontrollable, unmanageable, high vibe, and amazing. And this will help get that out. That'll help. This will,
Yes.
But peace is a big deal to me, because it all starts with peace. That's why this is the keystone supplement for today's toxic world. This is the thing that's going to help usher in peace for us. We can't usher in peace without it, I don't think. And this is going to be a big step in getting us there,
Yes, I love that answer. It's really beautiful. It makes a lot of sense, especially when, from my understanding, once we find that peace within, then it's reflected back in our relationships, in our environment. It's easy to just see that, and that's how the way I measure too the people that I meet, the people in my life, how they feel, around me, and that's how I know. It's exciting. Thank you so much, Matthew, for being you, for being open to life to this point. It's truly beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for sharing this energy and time together. And our time, energy, and focus is our precious resource. It's the best that we got to give. And we put our energies together to make the best difference we could. And I really appreciate your work. I spent some time looking into it, Valeria, and I can't think highly enough of you as a sister for what you're doing to help everyone. And it's great to find like-minded people that are on the same mission as what we are at MasterPeace. So thank you so much for bringing this to everybody's attention, for sure.
Thank you. I wouldn't be doing this if you were not doing that. So it's the interconnectedness, right? It's beautiful.
That's right.
So where's the best place to find more information about you and MasterPeace?
Yes. So whoever told you about MasterPeace, in this case is Valeria, you got to find their affiliate link, because our system, we're not going to be on the shelves at Walmart anywhere. We're not going to get help by the system to get this out. It's all of us having a great experience with MasterPeace and sharing the word. And so you got to have an affiliate link if you want to find us, because giving you our website won't do it. So find the affiliate link that Valeria has got to make accessible, and then you just tap it and it will take you right to the website. You can go through everything and sign up. No obligations, no membership nonsense or anything like that. And you can go there to check everything out and order if you want to also.
Wonderful. I'll have the affiliate link on this interview profile, so it will be clickable and really easy to find. And thank you so much again, Matthew, for your presence in this reality. And we'll talk soon. We'll be in touch.
Yes.
Bye for now.